Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
You know what time it is!
Give me a hell yeah. Ah!
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the pod, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the thing. So do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live!
Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes
Happy
to the
Wednesday
Kings,
night,
it's my
you
favorite
scumbags. How we doing?
show. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
Just gotta update one thing here on my end.
Oh my God! How?
Woo! There we go. There we go. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We are live on a Wednesday night. How's everybody doing?
What up, Deuce?
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Everything good with you?
Hey, Morgan.
Hi.
Are you rooting for us?
I'm rooting for y'all.
Good. But what about the team from Sacramento? What do you think about them?
Okay.
Oh, just a week from tonight, we will be going live following a Kings Blazers opening night from Golden One Center. What's the vibe going to be like a week from tonight? Does that make you a little nervous out there? Think about that for a second. The excitement right now is here because the NBA season's right around the corner. Tonight was hideous, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to my
We'll
guy, Bad
totally
Guy.
get to that,
Shout out
yeah.
to everyone here, by the way.
Yeah, dude. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Hit the thumbs up. Helps us grow. But a week from tonight, we'll be live recapping Kings Blazers night chat.
Correct. We kind of already did. You mean
Uh,
Kings Blazers regular season?
Yeah.
night chat.
And I gotta be honest.
Why are you nervous?
I'm anxious.
We need to already get into the pod because
Oh,
I need to talk about this. Why?
Whoa! Shout out to people. Can I give some people
Yeah.
love real fast?
Yeah.
Give me a little roll call action. Shout out my guy Martin, who became a member again for 5 months. I see Sack King in the house. I'm gonna start from the top. Are you ready? We're gonna do this fast, okay, Morgan?
Wow.
Shout out Tony Ray. What is up, Jake? Tim, Jay Hardaway. Jesus is in the house with Chase. And don't forget my swag man, Strictly Kevin saying what's up. Oh, he's with Joe Stewart, but he's right next to his pal Delivery Joe. What up, Ray? Nick, why not win tonight? Zero Connection. 3 months as a member. We'll take it. Sack King. Sim is here. Sim City. Boise, as usual, the young Asian. We're not done. J-Rock. Mike Bibby Highlight. Nate the Great. Who we missing? Mark with a C and Gus Bus. What?
Elijah Mac TV.
Elijah Mac TV was at the game in the Valley of the Sun tonight. Crazy Dave is here
Jim.
being crazy. What's up, Jim? Morgan Reagan, the bad guy. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Ben Simmons with being an all-star this year. Let's talk about it, bad guy. Let's talk about it. I'm kidding. But Maxey, his guy Maxey looks awesome in the preseason. All right.
Facts.
Shout out Corey, too. Mark with a C. The world's first me. Let's get it started. All right. Deuce and Mo coming down. Is that good for you?
Good for me.
Oh, wait. No, it's not.
Oh.
Shout out to guy Tan something Mutombo on Twitch. All right. Come down. 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast. Recording this on a Wednesday night after the Kings beat the Phoenix Suns In Arizona, 105 to 104. Our first thoughts presented by our friends over there at the Detail Pros of Sacramento. Get your car cleaned, you scumbags. DetailProSac.com. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. We just witnessed what could be best described as a hideous and ugly preseason basketball game. Morgan,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Preseason.
how you doing tonight?
Well, I'm good. I did want to fall asleep at times. I did.
That's how bad it was, huh? A little tired today.
It was, yeah, and it's weird because I usually am just like amped, you know. Oh, I got night check coming up. But like when I was watching, I was like, this is not cute. This is sloppy. But preseason.
Yes, in the first two preseason games, you get a little spoiled. You win the first two by like 30 plus, right? Like it's a little wild when you beat the Lakers. And then you look at tonight's game. So you beat the Lakers and Blazers. And then tonight we find out that the Suns are literally sitting everyone. At one point, I thought Monty Williams was going to the bench to bring in the Suns gorilla mascot to play a few minutes tonight. That's how bad it was.
You know what's so...
Yeah. Hold on. Want
No.
me to try that again? I
No.
thought at one point, Morgan, Monty Williams is going to have the Phoenix Gorilla check in the game. Hey, he can play.
So again, preseason
Preseason joke?
Preseason joke. So
You know,
like, let's not carry that into the regular season.
you understand, though, like in the preseason, you try different things. You try different rotations,
oh no,
different
and you
plays.
tried that one for years and it's landed, but it's like, oh man, that's 2021.
This is a new one. I have not
You
busted out
totally have done
the
the mascot.
Suns Gorilla joke.
Not the
I have
Suns.
done that joke.
No,
I have done
you've
that joke.
You've done the mascot joke where it's like, oh, team, all their guys are out because of health problems. They're about to bring in the Coyote from the Spurs bench. Like,
No, I would never say that because the Coyote is not a good basketball player. The Phoenix Gorilla has shown at times he can't play. He jumps through flames. He dunks the ball. He does flips. He is one of the premier mascots in all the NBA, Morgan. So, no, it wasn't ridiculous.
wow, the Coyotes, that shot's fired right there.
You know what? Before we get deep into this preseason
Okay.
game, let me just check real fast. I thought the joke was funny, says
Oh.
Rory. And the
He's
bad guy
looking
says,
for
I'm not
validation.
lying. I'm not lying. See,
Oh, yeah, validate him. Validate him. Good job, guys.
In all honesty, though, the Suns were just missing Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton. You would have thought it was Game 7 against the Suns. They didn't show up. Against the Mavs. I ruined the joke. Oh, no. But that was a good joke. That was a good joke.
yeah.
because they didn't
Do
show
it
up.
again. Do it again.
All right. So the Suns tonight without Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, they did not play. They didn't even show up. You would have thought it was Game 7 against the Mavs. Thanks so much, everybody. Okay, so yeah, seriously, no Cam Johnson, no campaign, no Landry Shamet, Saric not playing. The starting lineup tonight, Morgan, Damian Lee, Torrey Craig, Jock Landale, who looked like
A stud.
a stud and a half, a bit concerning, Josh Okogie, and Dwayne Washington Jr., who can play, by the way, and I think he had the ball the whole game, 31 points for him in the game. He was 10 of 19 shooting, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. He did have 11 turnovers.
Yeah.
So it was that type of night. So you look at the starting lineup, the Suns only have 10 players because of all those guys out. You're thinking, oh, the Kings, this is a good chance for the starting group that's looked so good that the ball's been whipping around there. They're knocking down shots. They're shooting the ball well. They'll destroy this team even without Keegan Murray and Rashawn Holmes in the lineup, and they came out flat.
I was looking for them to just capitalize, right? Like that was in. You know what happened too? This type of game, in my opinion, triggers Kings fans in so many different ways because it's like these are the games in season that you need the Kings to win, right? Like these are the ones that we keep talking about that everyone wants to talk about, playoffs and everything. You have to capitalize on these types of games. And I just feel like it was a little bit of a reality check for a lot of people out there who just think everything's going to be perfect because there's been some fun basketball around. There's going to be some growing pains, and that's okay, but I'm going to need a little bit more than that tonight.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying. And your point about this game kind of being triggering for some is 100% accurate. I made a mistake of hanging out in the Deuce and Mo podcast Discord for this game. No, it's great vibes most of the time.
Usually
But
really healthy.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Sure.
And, there are a lot of lows tonight because of how the starters came out. They missed a lot of shots at the rim. They fouled too much. And the other thing, too, is just being realistic about it. We mentioned all those Suns who are missing tonight. The guys who got time are rotational players who are trying to crack the rotation or fringe rotation players, some fringe NBA players who are like, we get a chance to play heavy minutes tonight.
We want it.
Like, I'm going to go out there. We're going to be physical, and we're going to play our asses off because that's how we can make an impression on Monty Williams. They came out to play. The Kings looked a little flat, looked like they were getting pushed around a little bit, missing some easy shots at the rim. Nothing was falling. It got off to a really ugly start.
And what I thought they could have done a better job at controlling was what they were doing on the defensive end, right? Like, there was no legs chopping on closeouts, just running by guys. And then there was other times where it just seemed like guys were riding the hips of others as they were taking them all the way to the rack. It was just these little things to not show them their jersey, not get in front of them, where you saw this effort and the ability to do this and play this type of defense and to rotate over and everything in the first couple of games. So, it was just disappointing. Like, are you letting up because of who you're playing? That can't ever be the mentality, and I'm sure Mike Brown will let them know.
So, without Keegan Murray, he did not make the trip to Phoenix because he has an illness, non-COVID related. Same with Rashawn Holmes, who is still out. So, they did not travel for this game. The Kings changed up the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Trey Lyles got the start instead, and Casey Okpala, who started the first 2 games of the preseason, did not play at all tonight. I'm not sure exactly why he did not play. We talk about them coming out flat. The one thing I'll say, too, is, like, if you're going to come out kind of maybe not yourselves, this is the time to do it.
100%.
Like, now you have some shit on tape of you not doing things the right way against different talent in the NBA. We're talking about players who aren't normally playing. Like, you did this against them. I thought the Kings starters did a good job to close it in the second half. They came back in and went on a nice run. Remember, they're down 14 in this game. They go on a 13-2 run to close the half, and they make it a game. Then Mike Brown brings the starters back out again the second half, and then they end up getting the lead. So they faced some adversity. They played really poorly. They got to get a little bit, and I thought they closed all right.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the hardest part, too, is coming back out of that half when what's the other team going to be told? What's the other team's mentality going to be? Are they going to come out better? Well, the Kings took advantage of what the other side was, right? And it's these guys that aren't their usual starters, that are fringe NBA players that are playing on that floor. So that is when they actually started to capitalize on the situation. It was nice to see. And like you said, the end of that first half, just fighting through it. I love to see it. I love it being like, they're not just going to rip those guys out and get a new fresh crew in that wants to be out there more. It's like, nope, this is time when that adversity hits. You got to learn and practice how to get around it.
And going back to what you said, like the start, you can't have these type of starts to a game in the regular season.
No.
It doesn't matter who the team, you can't, because it's
triggering too.
The margin for error is slim with this team, especially if they're trying to do what they want to do, which is become a playoff team in the Western Conference. So you can't have moments like this. So you get this on tape. You got another game Friday night against the Lakers. You clean some stuff up. You see some different things. The one thing I will say is I felt like Sabonis looked ticked off a couple of times. He didn't have a great game out there tonight. And I felt like the fight was there. Even Fox, there were times Dwayne Washington blew by him.
Yeah.
And there wasn't help there. And that's a concern, like big picture wise for Sacramento, in my opinion, is what we talked about, the lack of rim protection and the consistent engagement defensively from the get. And Fox has had his moments. We talked about last game against Dame where you're like, dude, you got into it.
Yep.
Well, Dwayne Washington got by him a few times.
Yeah. The
I
perimeter
also thought
pressure.
De'Aaron did a better job of adjusting and I need to get into him. I got to make sure that I am engaged consistently. And I could say that for Fox. I feel like his engagement has been really strong during the preseason.
And I would say the other good thing was, obviously there was a lot of turnovers on both sides. You're going to see that usually in preseason games. But what was nice was the Kings' transition defense was just so much better. They only gave up 7 fast break points, which means they were actually getting back after turning the ball over. They were wanting to get that stop after making a bad pass. So transition defense, you're already seeing a little bit of an improvement, and I am down with that in the preseason.
Let's talk about some of the other stuff we saw in this game, because the starters ended up coming out of this game. Where was this at? That was the last time we saw them was the 5:07 mark. Huerter was still in at that point, Lyles, but they in the fourth quarter they end up going deeper into the bench, right?
Yeah.
So I was encouraged by the guys who closed the game, like just from guys who are trying to make the roster, fringe guys, Quinn Cook. Sam Merrill, Keon Ellis, Chima Monecki, and Nemias Queta got some run. And I think Chima's a guy that I feel has been talked about a lot before the preseason and training camp. Hell, John Hollinger put him in his piece as like a sneaky sleeper guy that could help the Kings this year. But we haven't really seen him much at all. Well, that group ends up playing like the final 9 minutes of the game. I thought Monecki made an impact out there, and that was good for him trying to make this roster. That was encouraging. I thought Keon Ellis, as a young guy, he's a two-way product he's going to be spending a lot of time in Stockton, but the guy gets after it defensively. He is a smart defender. He can defend multiple positions. You look at him and go, oh, he looks a little small. It doesn't really impact. His frame doesn't seem to impact him defensively. What stood out to you?
Like when he got up on Washington, right? And then he picked him. They called the transition take foul. So then Quinn Cook shot a free throw. Kings got the ball. It was their possession. And I think actually then Chima turned the ball over in that possession, which kind of sucks. But the point was Keon Ellis's defense, right? That perimeter pressure, when you put that on a team and you're the leader of your pack is starting with that standard of defense, it's really just going to help the flow of that entire possession, the entire rest of the game. I know it's difficult, but you want to keep seeing that, even from guys like Keon Ellis. So that was really nice. And also, I know we only got to see a little bit of Quinn Cook, but you and I, we got to watch a lot of him in Stockton last year. We know what he's capable of. And so it was nice to see him be able to close out this game. And, you know, Mike Brown trusts him with those guys.
Yeah, he had 10 points. He's a guy that's trying to make the roster. He spent part of late last season playing with the Stockton Kings. So obviously Sacramento knows him a little bit. So it was good to see him get some run in this game. Keon, I think, I'm so excited to see his development in Stockton. I think he could even be a guy that could help them this year if they need him. I mean, for a guy that's going to come in and defend, and play the passing lanes, get in the guys. So that was encouraging to see. I thought Terrence Davis has kind of strung together a couple of nice games here where you're starting to see he got off to kind of a slow start last game, got pulled. Brown talked to him. He responded well. I thought he looked pretty good tonight. So that was encouraging. Monk struggled shooting the ball, 2 of 9 for him tonight. He was 0 for 5 from 3, but it was an interesting, some of the lineups he was playing with, I just felt like lacked any ball movement, and I felt like Monk was having to force shots late in the shot clock when there was no movement.
I was thinking that, and what I was thinking was that he was having to create so many more of his shots than shots being created for him. And I get it. You want him to be capable of doing both, but he's also on a talented offensive team where they have the ability to make players like him better. So I think they do need to do a better job of that. Davion hitting some of his outside shots, I was just like, it looks good. Yeah. And I love when you're making those uncontested threes, because in Kingsland, we've seen uncontested threes be missed year after year after year. Clank.
Well, and for him specifically.
Right.
One area that I'm being serious about, this is not just Deuce being funny, because it's preseason, so you don't want to get too caught up in numbers and stuff. But one number that I was concerned about before this all got started, and even more concerning tonight, is just the free throw shooting with this team. Like,
that's fair. It's fair.
If you are going to be a team that is competing and playing close games, you have to make free throws, and they missed 10.
It's going to be the storyline, yeah.
They were 19 of 29. Fox misses 2. Barnes misses 2. Sabonis misses 1. Like, I feel like some of your key guys are not good free throw shooters, and they're not consistent enough.
In their free points, they're obviously not free points, right? You have to. These guys need to change something, I think, with their mentality when they're shooting those free throws, because sometimes I'm not sure exactly what it is. Like, I could tell you on Fox's 3, when he's not using his legs and he's not using his base and going up in one motion and following through. But with some of the free throws, it's like, why is it leaving your hand weird? Are you thinking too hard about it? Is there too much pressure on it? Whatever that is, like, has to change, because you're exactly right. With this type of team, every single little point is going to matter in so many different games this season.
You miss Keegan tonight?
God, you know it. Like, come on. You did, right?
Yes. We're getting
I'm
spoiled
not
a
in
little
love.
bit.
You're in love.
Wait, good shooting, smart plays. I was talking to Jason Ross about this during the game. I was like, I feel if the Kings went up against the Suns, the real Suns today, it's a better game.
Maybe.
Them going up against that line of guys trying to prove themselves, maybe not as locked in.
Yeah, but that's you don't get to have that mentality if you are the Sacramento Kings. I don't give a shit if it's a preseason game, if it's a game in the middle of the year, and you're not going to even make a playing game. I don't care. You don't get to have that mentality, and I'm pretty sure Mike Brown will make that clear.
Do you think it's weird that they didn't play KZ tonight?
I did, but at the same time, I'm just kind of going with it. I'm like, I doubt it's like he did anything wrong.
No,
what
I
if
mean,
they just wanted to see some other guys?
I think KZ's been really good for them,
Same.
honestly. And just his length, really good cutter, makes the right play. His defense, defending multiple positions. The 3-point shooting hasn't been there, but he hasn't really taken a ton either. And I wouldn't question the looks he's taking.
Yeah.
So, no, I was, and maybe it was just simple, like, hey, we're just going to give him a night off. Like, we've seen enough. We need to take a look at other guys. We need to give Lyle some extended run. See, and Trey, I didn't think Trey had a very good game tonight. It's not just shooting. Some of these matchups against athletic teams are just rough for him. And I think he is going to be a guy that is on the outskirts of the rotation. Depending on matchup, he'll play. But it's I personally like to see more athleticism out there, more length, guys who can move a little bit better.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, your main guy who's leading things is like one of the fastest guys in the league. Like, of course, you want that. You want to be able to play above the rim. You want guys to be able to push the ball up at a very fast pace and have that be the identity, for sure. But at the same time, we've seen some really good things from Lyles, especially like last year.
He had a good stint in the last game too.
Yeah. And so that's why it's one of those things where I get it, though. If you're him, you don't really get many more opportunities, right? Like, you have to take advantage of these opportunities and make sure that you're making the most of it, being as efficient as you can on the floor.
I'm curious when they're going to make some cuts. Brown was saying maybe after this game, but do they just wait till the final preseason game? I think the guys that we were looking at before are pretty much the same candidates, right? Like, I feel like Monecki makes the team. And I know we haven't seen a lot from him. I just think they have a belief in him. Brown knows him. Good guy, works really hard. I think he makes a team over someone like Bazemore. I think if I were to predict, I think maybe Bazemore's gone.
Okay.
I can't figure out Deli versus Cook, because it's, to me, what do you want? Do you want a guy that can come in and get hot and get you buckets in case you need it? I mean, in a perfect world, neither guy is playing a ton of minutes just because you have so many guards. You have Mitchell and Fox, but Dellavedova brings something different when he runs a team. He's going to play a little more defense.
And how many times have we talked about health in the NBA, right? And making sure that your depth, you have solid depth, even if you have to keep going down the bench because you just never know what could happen in a season with how much the game just keeps getting more physical. The skill level just keeps going to a different level. Everything keeps evolving with this game, and guys' bodies doing the same thing.
So Bazemore is probably a candidate. I mean, obviously he's a candidate. I mean, it's the candidates are what? Dellavedova, Bazemore, Monecki, Sam Merrill,
Yeah.
Quinn Cook,
Yeah.
and Dellavedova.
Yeah. That's
So
it.
you gotta cut 3 of them.
So sad.
Oh, it is sad. It's sad for sure.
And I mean, and not to say like this is I was going to say, well, at least they make some good money during this time because they definitely make some good money during this time. But it's not all about that for them, right? It's really about being able to be a part of something and being on that floor and actually playing the game. So I take that back.
All right, so the Kings get this win 105-104. First thoughts tonight presented by our friends over at the Detail Pros of Sacramento. So, guys, let's be honest with yourselves. Your car is probably looking a little cruddy. You need to go hit my guy Nick up because Nick will take great care of your car. Inside and out, your car, I can promise you, will not look any better than after Nick is done with it.
Facts, facts, facts. He's an artist. Like, truly an artist. And I talked to him about so many of the things that he uses, and he was educating me on like what I need to do better to take care of my investment. If you paid good money for your car, you should be taking care of your investment, and Nick can help you with that. And he has so many great packages to help you with that.
You know, cars aren't really great investments, Morgan, because they lose their value a lot. But the fact is you're in it and you want it to look good. I'm just being honest with you.
I mean, either way, it's an investment for yourself.
It's not a great investment, right?
Okay,
Because like you're not going to make money really off of it, right?
Well, I mean, if you go to Nick and have it look brand new, shit, you can sell that thing for a lot more than you bought it.
So go to thedetailprosac.com or hit him up, 916-340-4317. Nick's a great guy. He's a big Kings fan. And seriously, go get your car detailed. Tell him you heard it from the Deuce and Mo podcast, and you will get a paint sealant upgrade worth $125.
You're welcome.
Check them out, thedetailprosac.com. I want to go to night chat, Morgan, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think this game deserves the New Age Outlaws. Oh, you didn't know thing.
That's fine.
I said I would do it after wins, but like it feels weird. Oh, you didn't know?
How many wins? Okay, let's mark this down though, because I want to know. I'll mark it on our whiteboard. How many wins you don't do this after because you just feel like, eh.
No, preseason like this. I mean, let me ask the chat. Does this, Sean? He says, "Say my name, Deuce." Does this deserve the New Age Outlaws intro for night chat? I said I was going to do it after wins. If you say, hey, a win's a win, you got to do it. Okay. Steven says not keeping my award. Okay.
Jack, this feels like a loss. Well, it wasn't, Jack. Yeah. It wasn't.
Oh, you didn't know? Yo ass better call somebody. Music. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Deuce and Mo podcast proudly brings to you the best NBA Kings podcast in the world. It's the basketball mind, Deuce Mason. It's TV's Morgan Reagan. It's the Deuce and Mo podcast. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Why not? You know, it still felt good.
Okay, yeah, and are you going to pass out?
I think I messed up at one part, so I questioned myself.
I just thought maybe you were going to like die, so I got a little worried for a second.
I can extend it out, no problem.
Great.
No problem.
Well, welcome into Night Chat,
Hey, welcome to Night Chat, King Gibby, whatever your name is, King Gibby. Shout out to guy Sean, who is a new member. Welcome to Why Not. And shout out to our guy Kenneth. Let's give everyone a hell yeah who are subscribing. And Kenneth, who just gifted another 50 YouTube memberships.
Give me a hell yeah.
You're the best, Kenneth.
We have plenty to talk about in Night Chat. We'll talk some Kings, some big picture stuff. We have to talk about Draymond Green as well. And something that happened in tonight's Lakers game that was probably not a great sign for them.
But a great sign for the NBA world.
Sure, if you want to say that. You sick son of a...
I know. I know.
Morgan Reagan, there was a couple of things that stood out to me from Kings practice the other day, which to me signals a good sign about what could lie ahead for the Sacramento Kings.
What?
Morgan, when you're trying to change a culture, what are you trying to do? You're trying to have good vibes. You're trying to get everyone together on the same page.
Yeah.
After practice the other day, Malik Monk was talking about what's been the biggest surprise to him so far with this team. Here's what he had to say.
How together we are in a little amount of time we had together. It's crazy how good we play together and how everybody is locked into one goal.
What do you attribute that to?
Mike. Mike Brown, man. Just Mike preaching, changing the culture, preaching that we got to do it out here, and preaching that we got to be together to make this thing turn around.
I love so quick. Mike, obviously, duh, that's the answer because of him and what he's doing as a leader. Yeah, it's great. How many times have we talked about building a foundation? And I know you guys, preseason, people get excited about things. Year after year, it's like, oh, this person likes this person. No, you're hearing so many more things about how the foundation is being built and not just the C word, culture. I know, I realized that's why I had to say culture after.
And yes, I'm not going to lose sight. We mention culture a lot in sports. Anytime a new coach comes in, but when that was good to hear. And then Mike Brown was asked about how he's been able to foster it. Of course, Mike Brown doesn't take any credit. Here's what he had to say about this culture for the Sacramento Kings and when it started.
Sabonis has a house, out in Napa, and we had suggested to him, hey, that's your hood. Let's have a little get-together out there, see who wants to come out. And this is when I was with the Warriors and we were in the playoffs. So, it started back then. And man, I think 8 to 9 guys went out to Napa and stayed for 2 nights, and they went to dinner both nights as a group and watched our 1 or 2 of our finals games while they're out there. We worked out together, and so it doesn't just happen on the court during the season. In all season, seeing guys volunteer and take time away from their families to come be with their teammates. There's a huge growing / bonding period, and we had a few of those occasions this past summer that started it off the right way, and now there's carryover into the season on it.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Guys work out together in the summer and everything, but to actually make your way out to Napa to hang out with some guys you don't even know, you've never played with, but you know of, and you're there to kick it, to Morgan, start building something.
Some of the best relationships I've formed have been not in town hanging out with colleagues.
Yeah.
It's out of town hanging out with colleagues. We go to NBA broadcast meetings.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or Summer League. You bond with people that maybe you don't even know because you have a common thing. It's like, hey, we're into the business. We're talking about it.
It's so fun.
Building friendships.
Yeah.
We built legitimate friendships being out in Vegas and then going to broadcast meetings.
Yeah.
That was beneficial. So for a team that's trying to get to know each other, they're going to be with each other for most of the year and they're trying to achieve something. Getting together is impactful. And getting together for a couple of days in Napa during the offseason, not during training camp. Teams have done that before where they go hey, we're going to go training camp somewhere else. We're going to go to San Diego. We're going to go to Colorado. I think
it's work.
The Blazers went to Santa Barbara. It is work. We're some guys hanging out in Napa with some coaches. We're going to drink some wine. We're going to play some ball, work out, watch some games, and talk. And does that, equate into major success? No, but I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It doesn't hurt it.
Yeah.
And if anything, it gives you kind of a head start. It builds the foundation. When you can have something brewing early, when shit kind of hits the fan at some point during the season, you've built up something with each other.
Yeah.
You built up the credibility and the trust and a friendship. I think that stuff matters. I really do.
Well, and that's why, because we go, well, none of this is going to matter unless they figure out what to do when adversity hits. Right. But like, why be down about that if they're already on the right track to doing the right things, right? Like, get down about that if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't work. But right now, you're seeing a leader in place that is pushing them in the right direction. And you're hearing others talk about this leader and what he's been doing for their entire team, for their atmosphere. And hell, us and all the other media members see it anytime we come to practice. And it's like, we're only seeing the end of practices, but it always feels different.
What do you think of that gold bell at practice? And how that so
great bit.
We saw this gold bell, and who we asked Harrison Barnes about initially. He kind of said, "Oh, it's for hustle plays," but the bell broke. Whatever. So they got the bell back. Reporters asked Mike Brown about it. He decides, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to bring over Jay Triano, my assistant coach, who it was his idea, and it was for hustle plays, it was for verticality, and it was for shrinking the floor to get open 3-pointers.
That's what it was,
or shrinking the defense." Getting them to collapse to get open 3-pointers. It was just like a way to encourage it. And it's like, those are little things that are cool. Like, I dig it. And I dig the fact that he brings over Jay Triano to explain it. Like, he's going to give credit to the guy who came up with it. I just feel like they are building a culture. And it's kind of what you said. You're more focused on the long term. Like, hey, it's not really, you think it may take some time to see the fruits of this labor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But like, this stuff does matter.
And that's why we're allowed to talk about it in this positive manner. And I think we're being realistic about it. I don't think we're saying, you guys, this is the year because they have a freaking bell and that means championship. No, we're not even saying that. I'm truly excited to see what the growing pains look like, because what I feel like we're going to see with these growing pains in this Sacramento Kings season is going to look a lot different than years past. It's going to be a lot less depressing. Still not going to be fun, and there's going to be fans out there that are pissed off and triggered and, not even being able to look at a game, the next game or something. We've seen this happen before. But instead, I feel like you're just going to see growth. And when you do see that growth, that's a win. That is a win right there. Some might say those standards are low, but hell, it's been 16 years. They're not low standards. You got to start somewhere.
Shout out to Letters from a Boy who subscribed on YouTube, and Jack, who became a member. Jack Wrigley, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. In the chat, Schnoa says, it's preseason basketball, but you got to love those spurts of just pure effort when in previous years there was a time they turned the tail and gave up. Just show me you care.
Yeah. How sad is that's all we've been asking for, right?
Yeah.
And you see it. Here's something that we saw over the years, Deuce. We'd see it in individuals that would want to be out there, want to play, want to get their minutes. But unless you have the entire team with that buy-in of we want to be out there, we want to give it our all, you're not going to take the next step. Everyone has to be on that same page. This is a team sport at the end of the day.
We got to get to some Draymond Green stuff in a few minutes because I'm curious to get your thoughts on what went down with him. One more Kings thing. Kevin Huerter had something interesting to say about the offensive potential with this group, because I think we when we talk about this team, that's what we focus on, because defense is still going to be a question.
Sure. We get excited. I think we get excited, and people around the league get excited for their offensive ability.
Here's what Kevin Huerter had to say the other night.
So far, it's been great. You guys have only seen, what we've done on the court on game days, but practice-wise, it's been, all 4 groups been moving the ball. It's been a lot of unselfishness. We don't have a lot of plays. We're really just kind of out there playing with each other and learning how to play with each other, and hopefully that's something that we continue to build. And, if we're passing the ball like this in game 2 in the preseason, I'm excited what's obviously to come as we get further in the season. The ball is power, the ball is energy. You move the ball, you move energy around. Guys are going to like playing with each other. That helps build chemistry pretty fast. So if you're a team that's dominating the ball by 1 or 2 guys, you don't build chemistry very fast. So if all 5 guys are touching the ball, everyone's engaged, and it's obviously it's an offense and it's a feeling everybody wants to be a part of.
He gets basketball. That's what it's all about. Think about, I don't care if you've played a pickup game in your life or a college game or whatever. When you go down the court and one person is just taking over and no one else is touching the ball, it's not fun. It doesn't work. And it's just, it brings everyone down. When the ball touches everyone's hands on the offensive possession, so many great things come from it. So many great things. And not just around the perimeter. I'm not talking about that. It's passing the ball with a purpose, right? And making sure that you know what you're trying to accomplish within that possession. We saw that tonight with Kevin Huerter and Domantas Sabonis around that high post when they had that little two-man game, give and go going on. And you're just like, that's sexier than hell. And I can't wait to see more than that. Basketball porn, baby.
He's red velvet. He's smooth.
Smooth.
His game really is smooth.
Yes.
I think he's underrated. You know, no, I do. I really do. It's even for us. I don't think we've talked about him enough.
I feel like
Morgan, the power rankings of who we've talked about really since the preseason start. It goes Keegan, first quarter, Keegan, second quarter, Keegan, third, fourth, Keegan, bench, Keegan, post game, Keegan, then like Fox Sabonis. You know what I mean? And then Mike Brown.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, you got
Mike
it.
Brown,
Yeah.
Keegan. Mike Brown, Keegan. That's
okay,
really
we're
been
a
the
little
theme.
obsessed, okay?
Kevin Huerter can really help this team.
I 100 billion% agree with that.
Because I think he does a little bit of everything. He can hit a three. He can handle a little bit. You mentioned that two-man game. He's a decent passer. He did have 3 turnovers tonight. Kings starters had 11 turnovers in, 20-something minutes together. I didn't love that number. It's, they're working it out. But, yeah, I think what he just said is exactly right. Like, you point to the head. The basketball IQ.
Smart
player. The Kings
player.
have some high IQ players, and I think they want to move the ball. That's exciting. It's an exciting brand to watch, and hopefully come regular season, they can be ready to go.
And the only thing I will compare to, and not to bring up old things, but I remember when...
Why you bringing up old shit?
I knew that was coming. Last season, I remember talking to people, and they're like, yeah, we're just empowered to play freely. When guys aren't managed or led with what playing freely actually means in basketball at the NBA level, they're not going to execute or accomplish anything. Mike Brown's allowing them to play freely while playing basketball correct, playing it the right way. How you play basketball the right way, you don't just move the ball around with a pass. You move bodies. You move so much more, and you just keep making sure that everyone is touching that basketball, and damn it, great things will happen.
In the chat, Chase says, watching Huerter live tonight was awesome. The guy is a smooth criminal out there.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm excited for him.
Mike says, Huerter is a ginger I can trust. I feel he has a soul. Okay.
There are plenty of gingers that Andrew Santino
is a
elite.
Great ginger.
Elite. Yeah.
Mark with a C in our chat.
Ginger?
Think so.
I don't know if I trust him.
James Ham?
But I like him.
James Ham good? No. James Ham. We don't trust James Ham.
We don't trust him now?
With his fedora, his dorky little fedora.
No, he hasn't been wearing the fedora.
Yeah, but once you wear it, it's just there.
I trust Hammy Ham.
Tell me you don't think of the fedora every time you see James Ham.
I don't think of the fedora.
What do you think of?
I think about him and where he lives, but I realize I shouldn't talk about that.
Oh, don't worry. He'll talk about it for you.
That's what I just see him and I see forest.
James Ham, mansion by a lake, but somehow has the worst internet connection in history.
He's just a man of the trees.
CJ says that James Ham identifies as a strawberry blonde. Actually, I think he does.
Oh my gosh. Well, to each their own.
No, but I do like Kevin Huerter a lot. I think he's going to end up helping this team big time.
I think there's a lot of pieces on here that can help this team.
Did you hear who's performing opening night at Kings Blazers?
No, but I saw it on our sheet.
I
I do it. No, not a good song to do. And no, stop. Children, dude.
I was flowing, Morgan. Just let me do the. I wasn't gonna say the bad parts.
That's good.
See
Okay. Well, everyone knows what you're saying, implying in this. Okay, stop. What? Stop. Oh.
You don't think they're gonna do that at halftime?
No.
100% they're gonna do that.
They are?
Yeah, but they're not gonna say it.
Oh, okay. That's really
the
cool.
Ying Yang Twins, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
No,
What?
that's
Yeah,
Little John.
Yeah.
Little John's not there. It's just the Ying Yang Twins.
I said, yeah. I didn't even do it right.
It's shake it like a sausage. Shake it.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not cool, but I listened to them all the time in high school.
Well, you like the Whisper song, don't you? You kind of liked it in high school.
Everyone did, right? I mean, it was playing 24/7.
Oh man. This is the next thing we need to talk about, the Draymond Green thing.
Thank you.
So Draymond Green is welcome back. Just whack, punch in the face, knockout. Come back home. Come back. No problem. Take a couple days off. Give us some money. You're back. Honest reaction to the news that Draymond Green is not being suspended by the Golden State Warriors. He is coming back. They've had talks. Steve Kerr had talked about how this was one of the biggest things he's had to deal with, that they've had to deal with as a team. He says it's really serious stuff. We're not perfect. Our team isn't perfect. Bob Myers and I have definitely made our share of mistakes, but we're going to lean on the experience that we have together over the last 9 years and trust that this is the best decision for our team. Kerr said that Green and Poole sat down for an important conversation the last few days, and that has helped the Warriors push forward with Draymond back. Kevon Looney said that Draymond's got to earn trust back, and Kerr gave Kevon Looney a lot of love for being a pivotal leader for the club. My first reaction to this was, really?
Yeah.
I mean, what would be the harm, honestly, of suspending him as a team for 2 or 3 games?
Yeah. Just
slap
like
on there. I mean,
a little bit more accountability, right?
But I could say this, there's not a team in the NBA that if this happened to them, they would have suspended him. Any other team suspends him, the Warriors did not. In some respect, I go, well, they do things differently. And guess what? The way they've done things in the past, it's worked for them. They've won championships.
True.
They know these guys better than anybody. And you can go ahead and, critique us. I can critique them if I could talk. But ultimately, it's about those guys in the locker room. And if they feel like this is the best decision for their team, I guess I get it for them.
So
I think that he should have been suspended.
Right. Because I believe in holding people accountable for their actions. And a few things that just make me sad about this. I look at this situation and I go, oh, so if this wasn't Draymond and it was your average Joe down the bench, is he even getting an opportunity in the NBA again? I mean, we talked about Bobby Portis and just his journey after a pretty bad fight.
Yeah, when he punched Mirotic and there was facial fractures.
Correct.
He was suspended 8 games.
His
By
reputation.
the Bulls. Yeah, it took him a long time. His reaction to this says, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That's what he put out on Twitter.
Interesting. And that's how other guys are going to feel about this. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing I thought about, I go, Jordan Poole doesn't want to be the first guy in the NBA that is like everything's falling on him. Well, Jordan Poole doesn't feel comfortable with Draymond around, so they're not going to have Draymond around. You don't want that on you as a young player. Why? You know what I mean? You don't want that responsibility. You don't want that reputation to be that guy. So instead, you have to be the guy that took the punch to the face and had to say, everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay. I would never trust a human being again that could assault me like that. Truly. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous. But at the end of the day, the Warriors do things different. And I just really hope that their conversation did go the way that Steve Kerr is saying that it went.
Well, it's fine if the Warriors decide that this is the route they want to go.
Okay.
What I'm curious about, though, is from an NBA perspective. The NBA is not going to know about every scuffle that happens at practice because a lot of these scuffles that happen, we don't find out about.
Yeah.
The difference is someone got punched in the face. Not only that, then video came out. It became public.
Yeah.
If Draymond Green did this during a game, he's suspended. Let's go crazy for a second. All right. Let's not say that Draymond Green does it in a game to another team. Let's just say the same thing happens. They're talking on the bench during a game. It's hot. He punches Poole in the face. Doesn't the league act on that? I just don't understand. From a league perspective, I don't get how they can't come down and be like, you know what? Sure. You guys didn't want to do this. We can be the bad guys here.
Yeah.
We are going to step in and go, we can't have this in our league. We cannot have guys getting punched in the face. We don't want this. I don't care if it's at practice. I don't care if it's out in the... That's the other thing. If Draymond Green did this out...
At a club.
He's hanging out. He's on vacation, whatever he is. He's out with friends. He punches someone in the face. The league's probably going to suspend him. But because it's in the walls, the sacred walls of an NBA practice facility, no one's supposed to see it. It's like, it's different, guys. You guys don't get it. It's like, no,
it's on the same earth.
No, and how many players? I mean, Olden Paulinese was in my mentions. I saw what Kenny Smith told TMZ is like, this happens all the time. Like, no, it may have happened at points throughout NBA history. Okay,
Yeah.
we know all the stories. Jordan punched Steve Kerr. Yes, I get all that, but I'm just saying, like, this is not a common occurrence in the league today. Guys aren't getting punched in the face. Now, are guys getting in each other's faces, pushing each other? Are things getting broken up? Yeah, of course.
All the above.
This is competitive sports. That stuff happens. This is a different level. And so that's what I'm trying to understand it from a league perspective. Like, do they step in and do something, or they just go, you know what, this is your decision. Now you have to live with it. It would surprise me a bit.
And I see on the chat, they were more mad that the video was leaked than the knockout punch. And
which is ridiculous to me.
Exactly. The fact that the video being leaked is even something that they are talking about, because I know they want to be like, oh, this is something that's got to stay between our walls and whatever. Why? So then Clutch Sports can have their little PR run at trying to smear Jordan Poole and his personality or his reputation, and so Shams can say it was just like a little scuffle or whatever the hell he said it was. Like, no, thank God the video came out to really expose what the hell Draymond did in that situation. It's not fair. It's a horrible look. And you just wish that, like, the standards in those walls were kept, like, the same for the outside, right? It's, again, same Earth, same planet Earth.
I think the other thing that's going to be intriguing with this is for the Warriors, you hope you get this right. Because if things aren't going well this year, and if you, like, Jordan Poole is not comfortable, or if the vibes still aren't right with this team, your decision not to hold him accountable could come back to bite you. And to me, that's a concern.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's it going to look like when they're in a huddle or Draymond's trying to pull him over and, like, mentor him and coach him a little? I just think we'll see. We'll see.
We should mention that tonight's Night Chess presented by Joey Reagan over at Lion Real Estate. By the way, Lion doing their big coat drive coming up October this month.
Yeah.
Through the October 31st. But Joey is the man, and if you're looking to buy a house, he's the perfect person to walk you through the process. He has helped one of our podcast listeners relocate from New Jersey. He's talked to so many others. He's helped so many people find their dream houses in the Sacramento area, and he can do the same for you. If you're looking to buy or sell, you got to hit Joey up today. Go to his website, jreagan.golion.com. You can also hit him up at 916-412-4592. And with an open house coming up this weekend, bring some coats. Bring some, help out some people.
So he will be using all the open houses that he's doing as drop-off points. And the first open house is going to be 2012 F Street from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So whether you have some coats you want to drop off or you just want to go say hi to Joey Reagan, make sure to go to that address from 11 to 2 p.m.
Yes, appreciate his support of the Deuce and Mo podcast. And yeah, even just go check out an open house and drop off some coats. Yeah, that's badass.
If you go to his website, you can see when they're all at.
All right, one other NBA thing we need to get to. Ray Smooth, by the way, says, you want us to hit up Joey at 11:30 p.m.? Honestly, you could text him right now. Sure.
You could.
Good question, yeah.
Especially if you were looking to buy or sell a home.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's helpful.
All right, one other NBA thing that happened tonight in the Minnesota-LA game.
Oh, I love this. Did you see this did I send this to you? Because I did send this to you, or did you see this on your own?
I don't remember.
Either way, I sent it to you like giggling.
Okay, well, Morgan is kind of rude because she's rooting for the Lakers' demise. But this video we are playing in the background for the video people. At one point in this game, third quarter action, Beverly's trying to huddle up. There's a foul on the floor, and he's trying to gather his team. Play leaders, bringing LeBron, Lonnie Walker, AD over. Hey, come on, let's talk about things. Tries to bring Russ. Russ wants nothing to do with it. Come on, come here, Russ. Come here. Let's talk about it. AD tried to go over to get him. He did not want to go over there at all.
The play that happened right before this to allow them to huddle, it was Russ fouling someone on Minnesota. So they're all heading to the free throw line. So they huddled anyway. He's frustrated at himself or whatever. But it's in those moments that you have to stop thinking about yourself and you have to become a team, right? And you see someone like Patrick Beverly trying to be that glue, that person, and Russ turn it down. I'm like, he ain't changing. So
it doesn't look like, and if you're having those type of issues now,
yes,
that's a bad sign,
right?
It really, it's what I've said since we started training camp here. Good vibes sometimes can be overrated throughout training camp and preseason.
Okay.
But bad vibes are not overrated at all. They are not.
Punching people and not getting into huddles, those things matter.
I just don't know how that works. And there's just too... They gotta move him. They just have to move Westbrook. They can try to pretend like Darvin Ham's going to be able to get him to buy in and be totally in everything. It's just not gonna. I think the damage has been done there in LA, and they're gonna have trouble moving that contract, obviously. And I'm sure they would love to do it if they could. It just doesn't seem like they can have the success that they want. They think they can have, which I think that's even misguided. If he is there. If you're having trouble gathering people to talk now in a preseason game, come on.
Yeah. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's being dramatic. I think we're factoring in everything that has come along to this point, right? Like even from Vegas Summer League with Russ and LeBron. And sure, things are good and whatever, but you really think everything's that good? Really? And you think with Patrick Beverly, like just because he's on the same team as him, he likes him that much more? I doubt that.
All right. He's been waiting for a second, so let's go to him. Hi, Nick.
Deuce and Mo.
What's up, man?
Deuce and Morgan. What's up?
Nick, I'm shocked that you didn't fall asleep.
How are you doing today?
So good. Did you watch the game?
Yes, I did. I'm so excited. They beat them Phoenix Suns 3-0. Give me a hell yes.
Hell yes.
Why not win? Why not go 3-0? So, we play on Friday. We play the Lakers.
Ooh.
I will be at the Gorman Center.
Yeah.
And if I was coach with the team, I would tell the team to go out there and beat the Lakers.
That's it. But how do you do it?
Yeah.
I'm a player on the team. I just raised my hand. Hey, Coach Nick, I know you want us to beat the Lakers, but how do we go do it? How do we go beat LeBron and
How
AD?
do we do it, Coach?
Yeah, Coach, tell us. Give us the game plan.
Play good defense.
Okay.
And you're going to win the game.
Whoa. Whoa,
Okay,
whoa,
Coach,
whoa.
I got to ask, though. Just hang tight for a second. How do I play good defense against LeBron? He's really good.
Great question.
You gotta stay on him.
You
Stay on
have
him.
to stay on him.
You can't
Stay
lose-
on him and stay on him.
Stay on him. Okay. What about Anthony Davis?
Ooh.
You gotta guard him.
Yeah, you got to guard him. Absolutely. Okay. What did you like from tonight's game? What was your favorite part of the game?
Well, they played really good tonight, and 105, 104, 3 days are undefeated. But if it was regular season, I would be so happy.
Yeah, man. Are you? Next week, Nick, is the first game.
I will be at the game.
Yes, you will. Let's go, Nick. Let's go. Get fired up. This is your time, Nick. Fire me up for the season.
Let's get ready. Let's get ready for the home opening and crack those sticks.
Those sticks. Are you excited for the Ying Yang Twins?
Yes, I am.
Do you know any of their songs?
No, never heard of it.
Yes. Good job, Nick. Good job.
I also wanted to say something about Draymond Green. When he punched Jordan Poole, it felt like boxing.
Yeah, and it's not boxing, it's basketball, right?
Yes, at Draymond Green, you cannot punch your own player. You can't do that. And
Yeah.
he needs to learn how to have better attitude.
Wait, if you were his coach, what would you say to Draymond Green?
Shape up, play better attitude, and grow up and keep his mouth shut.
Hey,
Wow.
Nick, why not be a good teammate?
Yeah, why not?
All right, Nick. Sleep dreams, all right?
Draymond Green needs to learn how to keep his mouth shut.
Well,
okay.
It's more the punching.
Yeah.
He can.
He's allowed to talk.
Yeah.
He's allowed to talk, Nick.
Yeah, but they could have suspended him.
How about just keep your hands to yourself, Draymond?
Yes.
There you go.
All right, sleep dreams.
Sleep dreams, do some mo.
Sleep dreams, Nick.
Sleep dreams. There's Nick.
Oh my God. I love that once it was Draymond, he had like 7 things to say as a coach. He was like, oh yeah, well, let me tell you everything I would say as a coach for that.
The people pop for Nick, and I love it. I love it every time. It's like sometimes you go, should we go to him tonight? But then you're like, he's waiting. You have to. It's night chat. You have to go.
You have to.
Yeah.
Nick's the best.
Absolutely. Any other final thoughts as we head into the final preseason game?
Well, we're probably going to see another team that doesn't have all their guys playing, right?
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Okay.
Final thought to wrap this up. I think some of these NBA teams are making a serious mistake. For example, the Suns. Explain to me, if you're the Suns and you have had chemistry things, you ended the season very as bad as it gets. A game 7 on your home floor, and no one ever talks about it with Phoenix. Like, they don't even mention it. It's, we just move on. Jay Crowder is not around. Why wouldn't you just play your guys a little bit? And I know I'm not saying, hey, you need to play Chris Paul 30 minutes. Yes, you're trying to conserve things, but you're not playing back-to-backs in the preseason. Build some chemistry. Build some better vibes. Maybe Aiden starts feeling good a little bit about the situation if he can get something going in the preseason. I just think that stuff matters. And I look at the Lakers, another great example. There are too many times it's like AD sitting out, LeBron sitting out. They're not playing tonight. Minnesota did not play Gobert and Cat. Now, I'm not sure about Cat's status, so I don't want to speak out because he was really sick and lost a whole bunch of weight and missed some training camp. But he didn't play tonight. Gobert didn't play tonight. I'm like, you guys need to start. You have to play together.
Big part of your identity.
This is new stuff. You're trying to build chemistry. You can't just assume it's just all going to click right when the season starts. There's a reason you have preseason. It's to get some of your guys some reps, some rhythm, build some cohesiveness. And a lot of these teams elect not to do it. And I think that's a big mistake. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong because at the end of the day, they rest guys anyway during the regular season.
By the way, Bag says that Cat's he's sitting out. He's not ready for contact because he lost so much weight. So that's what I thought. But I just think It's gonna be interesting to see what the Lakers do Friday. Like, does LeBron play at all? You know, I still hope that Brown plays the starters a little bit. I think it would be good to see how they perform against the Lakers squad.
I agree. You need every ounce of practicing, chemistry building, anything you got together. You need to clean it all up as you head into the regular season. And that is why it really, truly is important. So I hope we see that on Friday.
Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. We will be back again Friday night for Night Chat. We are live after every single game. Preseason, regular season. This is our third straight year of doing it.
Yeah.
This community continues to build.
Dude.
I love it.
You guys are awesome.
Seriously, you guys are the absolute best. So we'll be back Friday night. I'm guessing we'll be live around 10:30 p.m. Pacific time, maybe a little bit earlier, but we'll be live Friday night, recapping the preseason and looking ahead to opening night when the Kings take on the Blazers. We love you guys so much. And we got to go.
You're all the best. Thank you for being here. We'll see you Friday night. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.